Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Your host, Flywheels, here with the November 21st, 2025 affordable group break. And we will get this started here in just a few moments. All right. Here, with a feral cat that's been living on our porch, and we've been feeding him and taking care of him. And he bit my daughter tonight, and it broke the skin. So my wife has her at the ER right now, making sure that she's okay, which sounds like she is. But so my wife's sitting here texting me as we go along. So I do apologize. But we are going to go ahead and get started. 2 boxes tonight, doing a little bit different than we've done before. And this is partially my fault. I grabbed this box of 1994 Stadium Club draft picks, and I thought it was more like, initially when I'm standing in the store, I thought it was more like a series 3, and it was priced right. It was priced within the amount that I figured I could do something, keep it really cheap. And once I got home and like really started to pay attention to the checklist, I'm like, oh shoot, probably not the best thing to choose. And that's why I just went ahead and I was just aiming to break even. That's why teams were 50 cents. A few of them were $1. I haven't done one this cheap in quite a while. And it wasn't designed that way. It just, look, it just wasn't as great as I was hoping it to be. My fault. That's what I get for not really, kind of vetting the set before we move on. So when this kind of like, I thought, you know what? Well, let's go ahead and bring the 1994 classic images. Again, this is another one that I grabbed kind of at the last minute, but I got to thinking, you know what? Because I was trying to figure out multi-sport. How would we do this? And I'm like, screw it. We'll just do it by the pack. I think I've done this once before. So, 36 packs, 36 slots. So we will just kind of work our way down the list and open packs. I believe everybody said, yeah, rip them on camera. But what I'm going to do, if I can find a marker, or I may need to run back downstairs to my office so I can get some team bags that I can put each pack in, and I can label as I go along. I don't think I have anything else. So, darn it. My daughter's okay. I appreciate y'all asking. She's more worried about the cat because my daughters absolutely love this cat. It's a little bobtail Siamese cat, blue eyes, and he is so friendly. But as most of y'all know, I have a lot of cats in the house, and when the other cats see them, they get worked up, and he gets worked up. And I think that's what happened. My daughter was sitting on the back porch petting the cat, and the other cats had to come up or in the kitchen, and that spooked them. And um, yeah, while she was petting him, and he bit her. So, um, but he's super great cat. It's just he doesn't get along with our cats. So my daughter's more concerned about the cat than she is about herself. But that's how my family is. They are, excluding me, they are the most giving and care about everybody else before themselves. I'm the selfish one in the family. They're the complete opposite. So they're the better people. All right, so I do apologize. I should have got this stuff before I came up. Let me get my team bags. Let me get a marker so that way I can keep myself organized when it comes to the classic images box. So chat amongst yourselves. Get you a cold beverage. I'll be right back in a few minutes, and then I promise you we'll get started. All right. Let's finally get this dog and pony show on the road. Wife just texted they are on the way home. So, good deal. All right. Pretty much the only thing we're quote unquote chasing in this box are the first day issue parallels. Um, you know, nothing else to chase. With these mid 90s ultra slick UV coated cards, as you all know, bricking is a possibility. So I will be as gentle as I can with this stuff. But 12 cards a pack, and first day issue about 1 in 6 packs. So at least it's just not one per box. It's not a bad design. Pretty minimalistic. So we got Doug Webb for Milwaukee starting us off. Oh, the backs are kind of crazy. Look at that. How do you say 90s without saying 90s? Mike Thurman Expos, and it's a small set. It's like 100 cards or something like that. So there's going to be dupes. Eric Pickett for the Braves. Never heard of him. Jay Payton, Mets. And, oh, that's a first day issue parallel. Here's the come on. I don't know if I can get it to zoom in on that. Just want to zoom in on everything but what I'm trying to get it to do. But there is our, there's one of the parallels. Ben Grieve for the Athletics. Jeff Bloom or Blum for the Expos. Roy Marsh, Astros. Mike Hampton for the Reds. Derek Ducart for the Yankees. David Meyer, Yankees. And Nomar Garciaparra, probably the one card to chase. And Mark Johnson, White Sox. Hey, Victor. Yeah, it's a very clean design. But when I was standing in the store, for like I said, for whatever reason, I thought this was more or less a like a Series 3. Because they, if I'm not mistaken, 1993 there were 3 series of Stadium Club. And I'm trying to remember 94. It's funny how certain card designs are etched in your memory and you know what year they're from, and then you get to a year and you're like, crap, what did 94 Stadium Club look like? Oh, okay. That's right. It was the one with the like the name was ripped off and it had the old like the red with the embossed white letters you could punch on your little gun. Yeah. That was 94. So yeah, completely different look, but oh well. Russ Johnson, at least it'll get you some cards for your teams that maybe you don't already have. Another Eric Pickett. Jacob Cruz for the Giants. Tommy Davis for the Orioles. Tim Grieve. Royals. Darnell Nichols for the Brewers. Jason Sykes, Philly. Chris McBride for the Jays. Wes Helms for the Braves. I was a big prospect coming up for them back then. Brian Meadows, Marlins. Ricky, the Dodgers, and another Tommy Davis. David Coughlin, I believe that's how you pronounce it, for the Tigers. Another Cruz. Billy Blythe for the Braves. There's a regular Jay Payton. We already had a parallel of him. Jerry Whitaker for the White Sox. Paul Wilson for the Mets. Had a decent career with them. Jacob Shoemate for the Braves. Kevin Brown for the Rangers. Travis Miller, the Twins. Matt Beaumont, Angels. Doug Webb. And Ryan Nye for Philly. Oh, very cool. Caught Rick Ankiel. At one point, I had some pretty cool cards of Ankiel. I don't know what happened to them. Pretty sure I don't have them anymore. Kevin Lovinger for the Cardinals. Another Billy Blythe. For the Pirates, Mark Ferris. We have Pepe McNeil for the Indians. Mike Darr for the Tigers. Another Brave. Clay Carruthers for the Reds. Andy Talby, Giants. Brian Rigby, Athletics. Heath Murray for the Padres. Mark Johnson and Mark Little for the Rangers. If memory serves me correctly, Ankiel played. He was playing outfield or some position for the Braves when he was in the organization. Kay Gasper, Tigers. Another Mark Ferris. Dan Locke. Mike Halperin. Two of them back to back. Tim Grieve. Trying to pay attention for the parallels. They don't stand out all that much. Mike Hampton. Terrence Long for the Mets. Eddie Priest, Reds. Another Derek Ducart. Tommy Davis. Eddie Brooks for the Pirates. Steve Shoemaker for the Yankees. Another Jay Payton. Oscar Robles. Scott Forster. Scott Shores for Philly. Don't think we've seen that. Brian Farson for Pirates. Ryan Nye. John Crowther. Yeah, I remember seeing Terrence Long show up in, well, I do a lot of 1995, a lot of mid-90s stuff, and I remember seeing quite a few of his cards back then. Paul Ottavina for the Expos. Hey, CJ Natowski for the Reds. Larry Barnes, the Brewers. Alberto Castillo for the Giants. George Lombard for the Braves, another guy who didn't quite live up to the expectations. Another Mike Halperin. Jason Peterson for the Cubs. Clay Carruthers. Jason Camille for the Expos. Corey Pointer, the Braves. Eddie Brooks. And Trey Moore, Seattle. Obviously, this set must not have sold well for Topps because it was a one and done. Trey Moore, Larry Barnes, Doug Million for the Rockies. Eddie Priest, Kevin Lovinger, Terrence Long, Dave Coughlin, Corey Pointer, Russ Johnson, John Crowther, Greg Morris, Angels. So, first day parallel, our first day issue, are 1 and 6. I think our first pack had one. Haven't seen one since. Heath Murray, Doug Million, Steve Shoemaker, Brad Rigby, Cade Gasper, Bucky Buckles, Jason Kelly for the Cubs, Scott Forster, Russ Johnson, Tony Terry for the Reds, Ottavina, and Gary Rath for the Dodgers. Ducart, Shoemaker, Yates Hall for the Cardinals, Brian Rose for Boston, Ray Brown for the Reds. There's Lombard Sr., Carl Dale for the Cardinals, Matt Smith for KC, Tony Terry, Ray Ricken for the Cubs, Trey Moore, and Tom Sizemonski maybe, for Seattle. Yeah, Victor, I think Boone might be in this set. Daryl Nicholas, the Cubs, or Cubs for the Brewers. Yates Hall. Paul O'Malley for the Astros. There's the Seismansky, if I'm saying that correctly. Joe Giuliano for the Braves. Lovinger. Mike Metcalf. Dodgers. Jason Peterson. Ray Pickin. Troy Bro. Greg Morrison and Brian Rose. Maybe if I was 15 years younger and 50 pounds lighter, I would make a run for it there, Andrew. Another Yates Hall, Jay Payton, CJ Natowski. Here's another first day parallel or whatever. Tommy Davis for the Birds. There's Buckles, Dar. Shoemate, Matt Smith, Barson, Camille, Little, and Ottavina. I swear, some of this gold foil almost looks rainbow. Guess it's just the way my office lights are hitting it. Pointer, Thurman, Pickett, Rohan, Grieve, Bloom or Blum, Roy Marsh, Roy Marsh, Astros, Mike Hampton, Dukart, Wes Helms, another Garcia Parra, and Mark Johnson. Did it at 40. Jason Kelly, Pickett, Cruz, Paul, Failla, don't know how to pronounce that, but he's for the Angels. Tim Grieve, Daryl Nicholas, McBride, Sykes, Helms, Miller, Stone, and Davis. So we're starting to see lots of dupes. Would not be surprised if we ended up with a whole set. Lombard, Cruz, Blythe, Little, Whitaker, Wilson, Shoemate, Brown, Miller, Rigsby, Nye. Barnes, Blythe, Ferris, Nye, Mike Darr, Grieve, Crothers, Talby, Rigby, Eddie Priest, Reds, Johnson, and Little. Hey, good evening, Matthew. Doug Million, Ferris, Locke, Halpern, Natowski, Grieve, Priest, Hampton, Long, Shores, Davis, and Brooks. Going a little quicker than I normally would. I think most of you are probably more interested in the next box. Coming up, Eddie Brooks, Stan Locke, Peyton, Buckles, Pepe McNeil, Whitaker, Sykes, Forster, Shores, Farson, Nye, Crowther. Loud packs. All right, there you go, Victor. Aaron Boone for the Reds. Paul Wilson, Paul O'Malley. That's funny. That's the first Aaron Boone we've seen. That's our first Paul Konerko. Dodgers. And another parallel. That's a Yankee. Ray Ricken. I think you reckon we'll find another parallel. Ryan Beanie for the Yankees. Gasper. Robles. Coughlin. Brohan. The guy I couldn't pronounce his last name. And Gary Rath. Thurman, another Konerko. Kevin Witt for the Blue Jays. Bloom, Brett Wagner, the Cardinals. Ray Brown, Reds. Castillo, Kelly, that Angels player again. Brad Meyer or Mayer for the Yankees. Sizemani. And Jesse Ibarra for the Giants. Pickett. Witt. Mike Russell for the Braves. I think that's a new one. Castro. Giuliano. Roy Marsh. Carl Dale, David Meyer, Brian Meadows, Brian Rose, Dan Hauer. All right, 3 to go. Are you still with me? Still awake? Another Hauer. Russell, Brian Buchanan, Yankees. Shoemate, Bloom, Ryan Beanie, Metcalf, McBride, Meadows, Beaumont, another Aaron Boone, and another Garcia Parra. Another Garcia Parra. Buchanan, Dustin Hermanson, the Padres, Carruthers, Nicholas, Brett Wagner, Brown, Robles, Beaumont, Heath Murray, the Padres, Ibarra, Ricky Stone. All right, so we're going to get one more parallel in the last pack magic. If my math is correct, we should see 4 parallels total, but Camille, Hermanson, Thurman, Meyer, Wilson, Castro, Castillo, Talby, Murray, Ducart, Hauer, and Webb. Wah, wah. So, I don't know, to get you 50 cents worth. Three parallels. Jay Payton, Ray Ricklin, and Tommy Davis. There's a chance we may have had, since these don't stand out that much, there's a chance there could be a 4th one. I'll, when I get to sorting, I'll figure that out. All right, get my list here. And $1994 Classic Images. Raise your virtual hand if you have ever ripped any of this. Did a lot of classic stuff back in the 90s, but not this one. And you can see that this is serially numbered. 63,881 of 7,800 boxes, or 78,000 boxes, I should say. Didn't want to just slash Chris Webber there on the back. But didn't even have to cut it. The little seal just popped right off. So nice presentation. All right, well, we'll just, there we go. I'll start in the upper left corner and we'll go left to right, top to bottom. So pack 1, pack 2, pack 3, pack 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth is how we'll do it. And Victor, you've got the first slot. And if I'm not mistaken, you said rip them on camera. You're here. So if you just want to confirm that real quick. John says rip. Victor says rip. I believe everybody said rip. So, all right, first pack goes to Victor. And geez, can I see this? Let's see. What are we looking for? Some kind of Marshall Faulk wild card. Or maybe that's just a mail away. But it does say sudden 1 and sudden impact card per box. But there appears to be a classic headlines insert as well. So let's see what we got. So first card for Victor is a Troy Drayton. And yeah, these are sticking a little bit. Brian Russell, Lincoln Kennedy, Chris Whitney, O.J. McDuffie, Alonzo Mourning, Derek Plante, Rick Meyer. Hey, your sudden impact card is a Drew Bledsoe and Nick Van Exel of Cincinnati Bearcats. All right, pack 2 is Mr. Campbell. Co-worker of my wife's. Mr. Campbell has a George Murasan for card number 1, followed by an A-Rod. He is a Mariners fan, if I'm not mistaken, so probably like that. George Teague, Alexei Yashin. Probably going to butcher the hockey guys, but y'all know that. Rob Niedermeyer, Chris Pronger, Dino Raja. Remember him playing for the Celtics. There's a Shaquille O'Neal. Sudden impact is Vin Baker. Played with the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken, and Luther Wright. What I should have done, and what I'll definitely do next time, is I will get my bags pre-labeled or pre-numbered ahead of time just to speed this up. Pack 3, Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin said rip his stuff. He gets a Todd Marchant, Curtis Conway, Chris Carpenter, Jim Campbell, John Copeland, Brooks Kieschnick. Is that how you say it? I can't remember. Y'all always correct me. Mike Peplowski. He gets a sudden impact. Oh, it's a classic, not a sudden impact. It's a classic chrome A-Rod. One of 9,750 cards. And he does get a sudden impact. It's a hockey. Rob Niedermeyer and Jason Arnott. Come on. Get in that sleeve. Get in there. Get in my sleeve. I start vacation this weekend, guys, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to take a week off from work. Come on. All right, pack 4. Matthew, your first one. Matt, my wife and kids have the entire week off for Thanksgiving. And then they'll go like 3 weeks, and then they're out a week and a half, I think, for Christmas. It's crazy. Wayne Gomez, or Carlton Gray, Willie Rolfe. Didn't he play for the Saints? Irv Smith. Hey, former Hornets, Scott Burrell. I like that card. Tragically died way too early. John Ratliff. North Carolina kid, Trot Nixon. Todd Marchant. Sudden impact is Alexandre Deigel and a Lucius Harris. Irv Smith passed away. Pack 5. Ben Morris. Mr. Morris gets a Jorg Teague, Alexei Yashin, Rob Niedermeyer, Chris Pronger, Dino Raja, These are sticking together just enough to be annoying. Shaquille O'Neal. Derek Brown. Hey, Torrey Hunter. Another former Hornet, Jamal Mashburn, former Dallas Maverick. And Baby Jordan, Harold Miner. I don't know how he got that nickname, but why do I remember that, more importantly? All right, pack 6. This one is my pack. I only did 2 packs. And I doubt I'll want these. So if you see something in this pack that you just like are dying to have, shout it out. Let me know. Derek Brown, Torrey Hunter, Isaiah Ryder. Man, remember the slam dunk contest that he won? Darnell Mee, Kirk Presley, Jamal Mashburn, Horace Copeland. Hey, I got a chrome card, but it's a hockey guy. Radke Bonk. Only Bonk that I know is Bonk the Caveman from the old TurboGrafx 16 video game. And a Drew Bledsoe sudden impact and a different, or no, it's probably the same guy, Derek Brown. So, if we got any hockey guys and you're dying for that card, let me know. Otherwise, I have an idea of who I will send that to. Pack 7, Mr. John. It is your turn. Ron Moore, Chris Gratton, Nick Van Exel, Roosevelt Potts, Jerome Bettis, nice. The Bus, Matt Drews, Quadri Ismail, Terry Kirby, sudden impact is Alexandre Deigel and Drew Bledsoe. Pack number 8. This is you, Mr. Matthew. Oh, Todd Marchant, Curtis Conway, Chris Carpenter, Jim Campbell, John Copeland, Brooks K. We'll just call him Brooks K. Mike Petlowski. Hey, you got a chrome card. Manon Ray, I don't know. R E A R E A R Rheaume. This was the she was a chick, right? Sudden Impact. Different A-Rod than we saw earlier, and an Isaiah Rider. I know, probably sounded really horrible there with the big hockey lady there. No offense meant. So did I judging from how fast y'all bought up these packs? Is this a format you like? Is this, especially for something like this, would y'all like to see this happen again? Pack number 9, Ben Martin. Let's see, Derek Brown, Torrey Hunter, Isaiah Rider, Darnell Mee, Kirk Presley, Jamal Mashburn, Horace Copeland, Alexandre Daigle, Sudden Impact, Penny Hardaway, and Sam Cassell. Florida State. Well, the honey hole that I refer to, the a lot of their product is starting to dry up, according to one of the owners. But they had some other 90s multi-sport things like this, or even just like early 90s basketball draft picks that some fun stuff. So, I mean, we can definitely do just a pack break instead of by team. This is pack number 10 from Mr. Morris. And we got Peter Ferrero, Garrison Hurst, Brian Anderson, Kevin Williams, A.C. Earl. Geez, there's a guy. When was the last time you heard his name? Barry Richter. There's a Penny Hardaway. Reggie Brooks. Hey, he gets a Sudden Impact. Penny Hardaway in the same pack. And Warren Kidd. All right, come on. Pack 11, John. John is up. Todd Kelly, Jesse Belanger, Alonzo Mourning, Jim Montgomery, Darren Dreifert. Hey, he's a pitcher and he's batting. Ooh, I like that card. Thomas Smith, Old Tar Heels. Followed by another Tar Heel, George Lynch. My dad was a big Tar Heels fan. Garth Snow. Sudden Impact. A-Rod and a Jim Campbell. I'm making a mess with all these bags. All right, pack number 12. Going to Mr. Campbell. He gets a Nick Van Exel, Roosevelt Potts, Jerome Bettis, Matt Drews, Quadri Ismail, Terry Kirby, Terry DeHare, Tom Carter III. Oh, he gets a Sudden Impact Jeter. He gets the Jeter. And a Billy Joe Hobart. Nice. All right, pack 13, lucky number 13. That is you, John. Brian Anderson, Kevin Williams, A.C. Earl, Barry Richter, Penny Hardaway, Reggie Brooks, Doug Edwards, Sharon Mills, Sudden Impact, Chris Webber, and another Baby Jordan, Harold Miner. Yeah, you gotta study the checklist, Victor. There is a small image of him on the top of the box too. I won't lie, that's how I knew he was in the set. $14, Mr. Andrew. Mr. Andrew. Sam Cassell. Yep, there's Manon. Alan Benez. Martin Brodeur. Chris Pronger. Victor Bailey. Terry Kirby. Lindsey Hunter. I think he was drafted by the Pistons. Don't ask me why I remember. And Sudden Impact, Chris Webber and Brooks K. Pack 15, Mr. Morris, Do my best, Victor. Do my best. Luther Wright. Jocelyn Thibault. Again, I'm probably butchering these hockey guys. Lucius Harris. Checklist. Alonzo. Harold Miner. Carl Simpson. Ted Drury. Victor. That's a second Jeter tonight. Sudden impact. And Darren Kirkwright. So jeez. Pack 16. Mr. John. Alonzo. Jim Montgomery. Darren Dreifert. Thomas Smith. George Lynch. Garth Snow. Jay Powell. Anthony Hardaway. Sudden impact, Carlos Delgado. And George Murasan. Yeah, I like this. This is fun. Pack 17, Ben Martin. Alan Benez, Martin Brodeur, Chris Pronger, Victor Bailey, Terry Kirby, Lindsey Hunter, Jerome Bettis, and I airbrushed the Rams off that. Kelly Wunsch. He's got a sudden impact. Baby Jordan. And a George Teague. Pack 18. This is you, Matthew. If you're still hanging with us. Chris Whitney. Derek Plant. Rick Meyer. Will Shields. Kirk Presley. Checklist. Alan Houston. Oh, Billy Wagner. And you, my friend, also got a sudden impact. Baby Jordan. And Manon. Need to get some music, some instrumental music, so I don't get a copyright strike. It's not so quiet in here. All right, number 19. Mr. Campbell. Trot Nixon. Marchant. Curtis Conway. Chris Carpenter. Jim Campbell. John Copeland. Brooks K. Mike Plowski. Sudden Impact. Carlos Delgado. And a Steve Soderstrom. Yeah, Victor, I agree. But this was I started in 1990, 91. I ripped a lot of stuff in the early 90s. So this is right up my alley. A lot of these names bring back memories. So checklist number 2. Oh, this is Mr. Moore. Sorry, I don't think I announced that. Harold Munner, Carl Simpson, Ted Drury, Rodney Rogers, Wake Forest Demon Deacons, Andre King, Chris Webber. Oh, he's got the shack there. Sudden Impact, Dino Raja, and a Chris Gratton. Oh, I just realized on the back of the packs there are odds listed. It only took me, 20 packs to realize that. Pack 21. This is my last and second and final pack. All right, let's see. Sudden Impact or 1-in-1. Classic Chrome 1-in-14. Player / Rookie of the Year 108. Football Draft Previews 288. Marshall Faulk Sweepstakes 144. And a Basketball Redemption 432. Nothing really probably in our wheelhouse. Will Shields, Kirk Presley, checklist, Allen Houston, Billy Wagner, that might be a keeper, Jeff Granger, Jeff D'Amico, Felix Potvin. I got a baby Jordan. Man, I'm starting to sound like Oprah. You get a baby Jordan. You get a baby Jordan. We all get a baby Jordan. So, wah wah for me. Victor, I was hoping to get a Jeter. That's Cynthia Jeter. 22, Andrew, you are up. There has to be a baby Jordan collector somewhere. You would think. I don't know. We should ask the super collector group. Hey, we got any baby Jordan Harold Miner super collectors out there? All right, Mr. Andrew, you got a Derek Brown, a Torrey Hunter, Isaiah Ryder, Darnell Mee, Kirk Presley. Hey, you got a Met. You got a Met. Jamal Mashburn. Horace Copeland. Alexandre Daigle. Jesus, I was just joking, but look, you get a Harold Miner, sudden impact, and a Jocelyn Thibault. Jeez, man, we spoke it in. I guess I spoke it into existence. Sorry, guys. All right, 23 is Matthew. Oops. Murasan with A-Rod, not a Jeter, but an A-Rod. George Teague, Alexei Yashin, Rob Niedermeyer, Chris Pronger, Dino Raja, Shaquille O'Neal. There's another Dino Raja, sudden impact, and a Rick Meyer. Mm-hmm. 24. Mr. Andrew. Curtis Conway, Chris Carpenter, Jim Campbell, John Copeland, Brooks K, Mike Peplowski, Murasan, A-Rod. Okay, got a sudden impact. Jerome Bettis and a checklist number. We'll put it upside down. Checklist number 2. The last girl I dated before I met my wife, I got her into collecting cards. And she chose to collect Notre Dame alumni. And Jerome Bettis was one of her favorite players. Pack 25. Mr. Martin. He bought up 6 packs. I think he was just trying to make it where I broke even in his holiday basketball that he's doing. Isaiah Ryder, Darnell Mee, Kirk Presley, Jamal Mashburn, Horace Copeland, Alexandre Daigle, Wayne Gomez. That's the first we've seen of that one tonight. Carlton Gray. He gets a sudden impact. Shaquille. There we go. Carl Simpson. All right, Victor. I feel it. You're number 26. You're lucky 26. I feel a Jeter coming on. Feel it in my bones. Alexandra Daigle, Wayne Gomez, Carlton Gray, Willie Rolfe, Irv Smith, Scott Burrell, John Ratliff, Trot Nixon, Shaquille O'Neal, Sudden Impact, and Gino Torretta. So, man. You got a Shaq. That's better than Baby Jordan, right? All right, 27. This is Mr. Campbell. I think this is his last pack. Terry DeHare, Tom Carter, Rex Walters, Natron Means, Carolina, Jason Arnott, Marvin Jones, Lorenzo Neal, Mike Dunham, Jerome Bettis, Sudden Impact, and a Glenn Milburn. Yeah, I'll be honest, this has been more entertaining than I thought it would be. Pack 28, Andrew Mirasan, A-Rod, George Teague, Alexei Yashin, Niedermeyer, Pronger, Raja, Shaquille, Sudden Impact, Ron Moore, and Isaiah Ryder. The only thing we're missing from these cards are phone cards. $29, Mr. Martin. Surely y'all remember the phone card craze from around this time frame. Wayne Gomez, Carlton Gray, Willie Rolfe, Irv Smith, Scott Burrell, John Ratliff, Trot Nixon. Hey, and our resident hockey guy gets a chrome Alexandre Daigle card. And a Sudden Impact is another hockey player, Derek Planty, and a Manon. If I'm saying that right, I have no earthly idea. Well, good. I'm glad he got some hockey. Some hockey. That is pack 29. 30, Andrew. I think this is your final pack. I watch a little hockey from time to time, and it is fascinating. I just don't know the players, and I don't know the rules of the game all that much. Doug Edwards, Sharon Mills, Chris Gratton, Darren Kirkwright, checklist, Manon, Ron Moore, Chris Gratton, Derek Plant or Planty, sudden impact, and a Chad Brown. $31. Mr. Hal. See Andrew. Jay Powell. Penny Hardaway. Corey Blunt. Jason Arnott. Rick Meyer. Derek Brown. Gino Tortetta. Isaiah Ryder. Sudden impact is Ron Moore and John Copeland. We're in the home stretch. Pack 32. Victor. You got one more after this. So let's see. Is a Jeter in your future? Got a Rex Walters. Got a Neutron Means. Jason Arnott. Marvin Jones. Lorenzo Neal. Mike Dunham. Peter Ferraro. Garrison Hurst. Sudden impact. Derek Brown and a Demetrius Dubose. Now I can't pick them up. There's a chance when I go out of town on Monday, I might be driving by the old honey hole. And if we do, might just have to take a quick pit stop and run back in and see what they got. Maybe I can find a cheap car rip box. All right, up to number 33. This is Mr. Martin's final pack. Gratton. Kirkwright. Checklist. Manon. Ron Moore. Gratton. Nick Van Exel. Roosevelt Potts. Jocelyn Thibault. And Scott Chrisman. Oh. Tell you one thing, these packs do not want to stack very well in this plastic. $34. This is Hal. The Bus. Wunsch. Ed Stokes. Roger Harper. Vin Baker. Eric Curry. Todd Kelly. Jason Belanger or Jesse Belanger. Sudden Impact Thibault. And Peplowski. 2 to go, guys. 2 to go. Victor, you are up next with number 35. And the final pack is upside down. So is that foreboding anything? Victor, you got a Rodney Rogers, Andre King, excuse me. Jimmy Jackson. Had a solid career. Chris Webber. You got a Shaq on the mic. Troy Drayton. Byron Russell. Lincoln Kennedy. Sudden Impact. Derek Brown. And a checklist. Get in the bag. Come on. All right. Matthew with the 36th and final pack. $1993 hot pack. Well, it's 1994, so, you know. Corey Blunt. Yeah, this is a hot pack. Jason Arnott, Rick Meyer, Derek Brown, Gino Tortetta, Isaiah Ryder, Sam Cassell, Manon. Oh my goodness. Be careful here. Derek Jeter. Hey, you were right. It is a hot pack, so to speak. And an A-Rod. You got it. I'll even sleeve it and top load it for Victor. Oh, darn it. It's one of those funky sleeves. It's like super wide. You knew it was in 36. Let's see. 35, Victor, was your. So I'm just going to slide your Jeter here in the back of pack 35. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. And speaking of cheap boxes of cards, any interest in like 90 or 91 hockey? Like it would be 25-cent, 50-cent teams. Topps, Bowman, Upper Deck, I think were all options. I always forget about those because they have them in a different case, and it's kind of on the way out. The way that it's weird that way they have the shop set up, but I see them when I come in, and then I forget about them, and then after I check out, I'm leaving, and then I see them, and I'm like, oh, do I want to get them to pull that out? Do I want to get back in line? But I'm always open to doing crazy stuff, stuff that your traditional breaker wouldn't do. Well, thanks, guys. This was a long break, long video, but ended up being more fun than I initially anticipated. So thanks for hanging out and making it fun. No break next week. Please go and enjoy your family and your friends. Eat entirely too much turkey and fall asleep on the couch with football on. Please enjoy that. I'm headed up to Tennessee next week. I'm going to be riding some roller coasters, eating some turkey, and probably spending too much money at the antique stores and the thrift malls. But good thing is I found some really cool trading cards and all sorts of cool stuff. I got a big old box of old Beckett's last time I was up there, and some of those will go out to some of you guys. I just haven't had a chance to send them yet. But yeah, so if I find anything cool, I will make sure to post. But we won't post again until December now. And in December, we're only going to go for 2, maybe 3 weeks. I'm not 100% sure yet. But anywho, I do appreciate it, guys, and I hope you all have a great holiday week coming up. Hope you get some time off from work, and I will. Oh yeah, baseball card magazines. I remember that one, Matthew. Well, there's tons and tons of thrift, antique malls where we're going, and my daughters have taken a liking to those as well, which makes it even more fun. So yeah, if I find anything that I think some of you might like, I'll let you know. So anywho, thanks again, and y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks. Not sure what will break next time we get together, but keep your eye on the group, and we'll have something posted shortly. But until then, y'all take care.